Hey, ladies and gents, welcome back to another part to the What If Naruto at Seduction seal. I'm joined here today by the lovely What If Sensei. He's just an absolute Chad. I had to bring him aboard again because, he's the second best What If YouTuber out there. Number one clearly being Anime X. You thought I was gonna say me, but me and What If Sensei are the same person, so I don't have to count that shit. So yeah, go ahead and speak.
Hey guys, it's me, your boy, What If Sensei. We gonna be making another part to this What If. So, obviously in this What If, we are going to be talking about what if Naruto had a seduction seal. So, with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. And with that being said, let's do a brief recap of what happened in the last part before getting into the new material of the What If. So,
Yes,
the last part, Naruto banged a lot of bitches. He got a fucking
yes.
harem following around in the village, and he fucked Kurenai, along with his cousin, making a nice little incest baby. So,
Oh, very nice. That's how we do it out in Russia.
very nice indeed. Get the incest baby, and you get another incest baby, and then you get the incest baby. Okay.
And then the incest.
Yes,
Very nice, very nice
yes.
indeed.
So that's
Of
about all the
course.
recap we need to do. So let's get into the new material of the What If itself.
Enough dicking around, let's get into this damn what if. So, Naruto basically ended up graduating and shit, so he was just like, I'm kinda bored. I'm gonna bang bitches, do my own thing. He's basically become a Chad over this whole period of time. Fucking Sakura, fucking Kurenai, and basically he's just a big horn dog. As he ends up realizing that he's assigned a team. Goes in, he's given his team. His team would be with, of course, none other than Sakura, Sasuke, and of course, Kakashi-san. Now, what does he think about this team? He thinks it's a pretty damn good team. I mean, he's got two really cool people, him and Sakura. He doesn't think Sakura's cool without him, but he just knows his absolute chadness is rubbing off on her, so therefore she's becoming a better individual. And he knows that that's how it works in life. So he basically, he ends up banging Sakura on the desk, because that's what you do when you're Naruto Chadster. That's what he does. So he ended up, not wearing a condom, came inside her, and he realized he had a new ability. He don't have to get bitches pregnant, and he don't get no STDs. That's what he likes to hear. He is very happy with himself and very happy with Aphrodite.
So now on a more serious note, let's start talking about the Bell test and how exactly is that going to go? Because of Naruto's conditions, it's obviously going to be a little bit more interesting that he has to fight. He can't really fight, and he needs to figure out a way to seduce Kakashi. So let's get into exactly how that is actually going to happen. So the Bell test would actually begin, and Naruto would start off by making a few seduction clones, which I'll explain exactly what those are later. So Naruto goes, and he basically just hides at this point, and he watches as this battle ensues. Or battle, I guess you could call it. One of the clones would just poof into a bunch of pink smoke, and Kakashi would be really surprised by that. He's like, that doesn't seem like a shadow clone. He wondered exactly why that happened. The other one poofed into a bunch of this weird pinkish purple liquid. Really sticky, really slimy, and Kakashi's kind of grossed out by it. There's a lot of it on him, and he's wondering exactly what this is. Naruto grins from the background as he knows exactly what just happened. That's his cum clone! All of the cum basically just came off, and Naruto can control it, which means he can make clones out of it. And he basically has an infinite amount of them. Every woman that he fucks, he gains another 10. So, say he fucked Sakura 100 times, he basically has 1,000 clones. So this one clone won't really do anything to him, so he made it anyway. So now he walks up to Kakashi and thinks of a way that he wants to do this. He doesn't necessarily want to completely, seduce him to a necessary extent, but he knows he has to do something. So just reaching down to try to grab his ass, he would, try to do that, but obviously all this slippery substance, Naruto would actually end up slipping on it. So with Naruto ending up slipping on this liquid, this, cum, basically, he falls down towards Kakashi now. Naruto already has his hand on Kakashi's ass, and Naruto falls down, realizing what's about to happen as his lips make contact with Kakashi's. Naruto curses to himself as he realizes that this is probably going to be enough to seduce him. He stands back up and starts spitting all the weird Kakashi juices out of his mouth. With that happening, Naruto looks over at Kakashi, seeing if he'd been completely seduced or not. And once again, seeing that familiar look that he's all too, used to at this point, as that crimson glow shines in Kakashi's eyes. Not a Sharingan, obviously. Kakashi would lunge forward toward Naruto now, and he's basically trying to lean in for another kiss, with Naruto being like, okay, fuck you, go the hell away. And Kakashi's like, but I love you, Naruto. And Naruto's like, oh my god, I don't want to have to deal with this shit. As Naruto's like, he's just like, okay, do we pass? And Kakashi's like, oh, of course you guys pass. Especially you, Naruto. Would you like to pass another exam? And Naruto's like, he just backs up. He's like, okay, fuck that. Tell me when the missions start, and we'll talk about it then. Okay, Kakashi? Okay. Naruto would start his D rank missions, and he'd be fucking Sakura and basically sidelines at the same time as that, along with Kurenai and a few other random village chicks. With that happening, Naruto would eventually get bored of that, man. He would want to go to start his C rank mission. So, with that happening, he goes to Hiruzen and asks for a higher ranking mission, and he gets one pretty easily, as a matter of fact. This being the mission to guide a bridge builder named Tazuna to build a fucking bridge. So, he got a C rank mission.
So, Naruto and his fucking Team 7 are just walking in there. They're walking along with Tazuna, and they prepare for what would be an attack. After all, that's what ninja do. If they don't do that, then they might get butt fucked, and they don't want that. So basically, the Demon Brothers, attack. Naruto can't really do shit about it since he can't fight. Sasuke ends up taking care of that. And Naruto's like, hey, bro, thanks for that. Sasuke looks over and blushes. He's like, oh my god, Naruto just said something to me. I'm just so fucking ecstatic with this. And Naruto's like, bro, are you okay? You're looking a little pale and got red cheeks going. He's like, shut up, faggot. He's like, oh shit, damn, all right, I guess you're a little bitchy today. I'm not gonna let you. You must be on your period. So he ends up backing off. He just ends up walking along. And eventually, a sword goes flying over his head. This, of course, being Zabuza's sword. Naruto dodges. He's like, fuck, dude, I can't fight. Chill the fuck out. So he ends up spamming a fucking shit ton of those clones and sends them flying over. Bunch of Jizz clones pop and burst, basically getting rid of the fucking mist since it weighs it down with all the moisture, and suddenly it's all cleared up. Kakashi looks over. Oh my god, he's so useful. Damn, Naruto. You're the best motherfucker I could ask for. Naruto's like, hey, chill, dude. Go take care of that guy, as he points over towards Zabuza, and Zabuza is just looking at this shit like, god damn, what is this, an orgy? He ends up running towards him, trying to fight against Kakashi. Kakashi's like, were you trying to kill Naruto? I won't let you kill my Naruto. Sakura suddenly comes out of nowhere and kicks Zabuza in the nuts. The fuck you mean, your Naruto? That's my Naruto, motherfucker. I've slept with him the most. Kakashi turns around. You've slept with Sakura, not me? Naruto's like, yeah, I'm not gay. He's like, it's not gay. It's emotions. You don't understand. I could be a girl if I wanted. You just suddenly Kakashi ends up transforming his entire body into a girl with the transformation jutsu. Naruto looks over and he's like, dude, fucking beat Zabuza. Zabuza at this point has had enough bullshit. He's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just gonna go kill that faggot. As he runs towards what would be Tazuna. Naruto seeing this is like, I can't fight. Hey Sasuke, wanna go take care of that shit? He's like, oh shit, I got you, bro. He ends up running towards him, trying to do something with his pitiful existence. Sadly, he fails and ends up getting bitch slapped away. This causing Kakashi to interfere and say, hey, you can't do that. Because Naruto ordered him to do that, you meanie head. So he ends up fighting against what would be Zabuza again, and suddenly Naruto feels a presence, and he just already knows this is a female's presence. And Haku appears. He's like, oh shit, bro. That's crazy. She's pretty hot. I'm gonna have to fucking, like, seduce that bitch. And yes, this is actually a real girl this time. What? Why would you do that? Because simply putting, we don't want any traps in this. There's already enough gayness going around, so fuck that. So basically, he's going over to try to seduce this bitch while he's seen it as like a tactical advantage. He's like, alright, if I get this bitch on my side, she could just betray Zabuza and just use all the fucking skills. He ends up running towards her. She ends up outpacing him, but since she has a kind heart, she's like, oh my god, you're like a pretty cool kid. You've got some strength. Naruto takes advantage of this, and suddenly a clone pops up and just bursts, leaving some slimy goo there, sticking her to the floor like it's some bungee gun type shit. He rushes forward, tackling her, basically hugging her in the goo. This leading towards his basically just fucking motorboating her boobs, which are practically non-existent at this point in time. But Naruto doesn't care. He ends up keep on going all the way until the point where she's seduced, and she pulls him up and goes in for a kiss. Naruto, realizing this is very reminiscent of what Kakashi has done, but realizes this is a girl, just goes along with it. And Kakashi suddenly feels a yandere type fucking instinct and gets angry, getting a power rage boost against Zabuza, beating the living shit out of him. And that leads towards Naruto just stopping Kakashi, like, hey buddy, you should chill, we shouldn't kill him, we should let him live. And Kakashi says, will you give me a kiss instead? And Naruto says no. So therefore Kakashi kills Zabuza, leaving Naruto in a shock. And Naruto realizes that he actually doesn't give a fuck about Zabuza because he just got to kiss a hot bitch.
As Naruto and the rest of his team would start heading over to Tazuna's shack, Naruto gets an idea. He got kinda horny after that last little encounter, so he figured, hey, who does he want to do it with this time? Remembering the new bitch that he got, who was pretty hot, he's not gonna lie, he's like, I'll do it with her. So using Naruto's obvious, telepathy ability that he can only use on the people that he's actually seduced, he basically inputs the thoughts into her mind. Go here in the woods this specific day, and we're gonna fuck. So obviously that would happen, and some days would actually pass by. Naruto goes to the woods, the location and the time that he specified. There, obviously, Haku would be there, and Naruto and Haku would start fucking. They fuck, and they go for a while, and eventually they would obviously stop, and, Haku would be, pleased. She'd be like, okay, that's cool and all. Naruto as well, and Haku would end up returning with Naruto back to to Tazuna's shack. With that happening, everybody's looking at her. She's like, who the fuck is this? And Naruto's like, oh, she's my new bitch. I just fucked her. Everybody's like, wait, what? Sakura and Kakashi both getting really jealous at this, with Sasuke, over in the background, why can't he do it with me? And then obviously Naruto would be like, hey, Kakashi, I'll leave you out, but Sakura, you want to come over here and have a little piece of this? And Sakura obviously would be like, okay. I mean, I'd be willing to share as long as I can take part. So obviously Haku, Naruto, and Sakura, they go off into a bedroom, and they don't really care about not making noise or anything like that. Everybody knows what they're about to do, and Naruto doesn't have any shame about that. They go down hard. So with that happening, some more time would eventually pass by before they would end up going to the bridge. With that happening, nothing really happens there because Zabuza's already dead. So they finish building the bridge. It's named the Great Naruto Bridge because Naruto seduced a bitch. They end up returning back to the village after Naruto gets one last fucking from Haku. Maybe he can make her basically come over to him later on if Naruto wants to fuck. With that happening, Kakashi would be like, hey bitches, you want to do the Chunin exams? Naruto would be like, sure. Let's do the Chunin exams.
Basically, Naruto's all ready for the fucking tuning exams he heard about. He's like, fuck yeah, dude, I want this shit. But we forgot to mention that fucking Naruto took care of Gato and his men, and he has a flashback to when he fucked what would be Tazuna's daughter or whatever, the fucking Tazuna's grandson's mom. He just straight up was pretty horny, it was right before he left. He just pulled out his cock. He was like, hey, you look pretty hot and you look lonely. I think I'm gonna fuck you. She was like, what? Oh shit, this is crazy. Well, I've never had someone so forward. He's like, haha, bitch, there's no one like me. So he ended up, he had intercourse with that bitch, ended up fucking her, ended up coming inside her, but he didn't get her pregnant because of his awesome fucking hacks abilities, which he liked. He was like, hey shit, this is fucking dope. You like it, I like it, we both like it. This is fucking nationally awesome. And basically the fucking grandson walked in. He was like, oh shit, yo mom, what are you doing with Naruto? Naruto ended up looking over. He's like, kid, shut the fuck up before you get slapped. He was like, oh fuck, you're right, my bad, bro. Came over, dapped up what would be Naruto, and he realized and walked out. He's like, did I just dap up the motherfucker who's fucking my mom? I don't even know what to say about that.
So with the Chunin exam starting, this would obviously begin with the written part of the exams, or the mental challenge, which isn't really going to be much of a mental challenge for Naruto. He has a different plan of action that he's going to, do. So Naruto's like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom, and as he's walking out, he's like, okay, who's the hottest looking instructor around here? He's looking around, he's like, okay, her. He walks over to her, and he's like, Naruto's like, I have a question for you. She's like, go to the bathroom or go sit back down. And Naruto's like, Doesn't matter. Grabbing her ass, she automatically would begin, obviously, falling for Naruto. And Naruto would be like, follow me to the bathroom really quick. And she's like, yes, Naruto. She walks over, and they go to the bathroom, and everybody can just hear it, obviously. Naruto doesn't have any shame, and he's just like, they're going ham at this point. Everybody's hearing the loud moaning coming from the bathrooms, and they're like, I guess we should go check that out. Around 3 or 4 other women exam practitioners, whatever the hell they're actually called, they end up going and they follow and go to see what's going on in the bathroom. There, they see what is happening. They're like, oh my god, what are you doing? Naruto would then get up and be like, smack, 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 basically getting all their asses, and all of them would be like automatically seduced, and they'd be like, hell, I'd be down for an orgy. So Naruto would pass the exams by fucking the exam practitioners. So Naruto would obviously pretty easily pass the written exams through seducing people, and that would then begin the Forest of Death.
So Naruto's fucking ready for all this shit. He's walking into the forest along with his team. He's like, hey, Sakura, Sasuke, you ready for this shit? They're like, oh shit, yeah, I'm ready, Naruto. Sasuke's like, yeah, man, I've been waiting. Now I can fucking prove that I am sexier than anyone else here. Sasuke's thinking. He's like, maybe I could fucking seduce Naruto. So they end up walking along in there, basically encountering Orochimaru at one point. And Orochimaru sees Naruto, and suddenly he's like, oh, fuck, yo, this motherfucker is hot. So it turns out Orochimaru has a thing for little underage boys, and he's gay. So it's a little weird. He's like, oh shit, this 16-year-old, I'm fucking into this shit. He's trying to hunt down Naruto. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go after your boyfriend Sasuke after I finish with you. As he goes, ha ha, you look pretty thick there, little boy. Naruto's like, oh shit, I don't want a part of this. So he ends up slapping his hands together, coming up with some new fucking technique. Suddenly in his mind, he gets this whole new, he's like, oh shit, really? I can do this? This is fucking dope, because a new ability just popped up. He's like, bam, fucking suddenly a bunch of fucking pink smoke appears, surrounding Orochimaru, engulfing inside his lungs, and he falls to his knees, basically in a trance, causing him to see a bunch of seduction type thoughts. Therefore, Naruto won the battle with just seduction type shit. But Naruto, being a little angry or pissed at this, he runs over and starts stomping on his fucking head. He's like, fucking cunt, hate your bitch ass, you fucking homo. Starts kneeing him in his face and grabs him and slams him against the fucking tree. Sakura's like, oh my god, he's so manly. And suddenly Sasuke's like, damn, he's got some big ass guns.
So with Naruto getting the scroll that they ended up actually needing, which don't really remember which one it was, but they decided to go fight some random team. Naruto would either seduce them or his teammates would basically defeat them. They'd eventually get the scroll that they actually needed, this time it being a lot earlier than the original because Sasuke and Naruto never got knocked out unconscious or anything like that. So Forest of Death would end and they'd do it a lot quicker, not anywhere near as fast as Gaara or anything like that, but pretty quick comparatively to a lot of the different teams and everything like that. So next part of this would actually be Naruto against Kiba. So this fight would actually start and it would be looking pretty grave for Naruto at the very beginning of the fight. Kiba would be knocking Naruto around the basically room and Naruto would be getting sent flying back and forth, basically just trying to find an opening where he could find some way to seduce Kiba. One of these opportunities would actually come in, and Naruto would begin bringing his arm down to try to slap Kiba. Kiba would think Naruto's going in for a punch and throw up his hand to block his head or around his chest area, but then Naruto diverges his path as he slaps down against Kiba's ass, and Kiba falls to the ground, and he's like, why am I getting so weakened? Before his mind completely goes blank, and he can think of nothing else other than Naruto and how much he loves Naruto. Everybody's looking at this, and they're like, the fuck just happened? What the fuck was that? As Naruto walks out of the ring, as Kiba surrenders himself. So with that happening, Sakura fights Ino. Sakura and Ino tie. Nothing fucking happens. So Sasuke, never getting his curse mark, would have a much easier time against whatever the fuck that one guy's name is, so he'd win that as well. So now would be the basically month or however fucking long it is gap of training between that part and the actual finals of the Chunin exams, and that would start. And in the original, Kakashi wanted to train Sasuke, but he wants to train Naruto here. So Sasuke would have another person in mind of who he wanted to train him. This actually being Orochimaru. he didn't necessarily want training as much as he wanted something else, I guess you could say.
Sasuke now wanting to basically become Naruto's lover. He's tired of being a tsundere. He just wants to get it known, and he knows Naruto isn't for the gay shit. So he's alright, fuck it. I'm gonna go and become a girl. He ends up going to Orochimaru. He's like, hey, Orochimaru, please, sir. I know you like Naruto too, so you have to understand my feelings. And Orochimaru empathizes. Boy, oh boy, I completely understand. After all, I think since you were so willing to let me experiment on you, I think I can do it. I even have a possibility. I have a waiting body right there. As he points to a dead body of a girl. Oh shit, where'd you get that? Sasuke asks. Don't worry about it, Orochimaru would reply. But there's only one condition. In order for this to happen, I will have to fuse myself with you. I will basically be in the back of your head. I will feel what you feel, but you'll have complete body control. I'm fine with that, Sasuke would reply. Oh, alright, well, let's get into this. As they begin to experiment, basically a 2 to 3 day process, ultimately leading towards eventually them touching the table and their entire bodies just disintegrate, suddenly turning to goo, forming upwards, kind of like jizz, flowing into the body, and then it begins to take a whole new shape, manifesting a whole new form. Suddenly, this girl's boobs grow bigger, ass more robust, and she's just a better version of Sasuke, basically as a girl now. It's just beautiful. Her eyes are snake-like, but yet still possess Sharingan type qualities. It's a complete fusion between Orochimaru and what would be Sasuke. The only difference being that Sasuke's in full control. Sasuke walks around and is like, oh shit, I am hot as fuck. How is Naruto gonna deny me now? Well, the real question is, how are you going to explain this to him? Orochimaru would say in the back of Sasuke's head. She simply replies, Naruto doesn't care. As long as there's a girl, and I explain that I'm truly a girl, he'll let me fuck. And yeah.
Meanwhile, with Naruto actually training with Kakashi, he would actually learn a few different techniques. He would learn how to encase or coat his body in different types of chakras, that being wind and lightning, obviously. You might be wondering, how the fuck would he be able to do that with lightning? Well, obviously, Naruto would be like, hey, I need to get stronger. So with that absolute massive Chad level of motivation, he'd be like, Kakashi, I need to get stronger. How should I do it? And Kakashi's like, hey, I'll just teach you a chakra nature that you don't actually have. And Naruto's like, wait, how the fuck? How'd you be able to do that? Kakashi's like, hey, I got my tricks for those I love. Naruto's like, okay, I guess that's just how that works. So Naruto, able to learn lightning style now because I can make him learn lightning style because it's a fucking what if and you guys can't complain about it. He ends up learning lightning style and can coat his body similar to what the Raikage does in this lightning. It's nowhere near that powerful and it's mostly for defense and paralysis rather than any like enhancing like attacks or anything like that because Naruto can't fucking punch or do anything like that, otherwise he would break his contract and he doesn't want to do that. So with that happening, Naruto and Kakashi would actually end their little training, and the next part of the actual Chunin exams would begin, this being the finals. The first fight actually being Naruto versus Neji. This fight would actually happen, and Naruto just coats his body in the chakra, and he simply swings, and this would actually be enough to break the rotation, because Naruto could cut it before. I don't see why Naruto couldn't now. So Naruto breaks the rotation before slapping Neji on the ass, seducing him, and basically making it so that Neji couldn't fight. Neji would surrender himself, and everybody would be really surprised. Like, that's the like fucking Hyuga prodigy. Why the fuck would he surrender to somebody like Naruto? That really doesn't make sense. Similar to what happened against Kiba. They're wondering why they even surrendered in the first place. It didn't really seem to do much damage to them. They shrug this off, and they're wondering exactly what's going on, because there seems to be a new contestant. Naruto would notice this as well, and he'd be looking at this new contestant, which has similar features to Sasuke, but is a fucking busty girl. And he's like, okay, oh, she's got some nice parts. He's looking at her, and he's like, wait a minute, wasn't Sasuke supposed to actually end up fighting Gaara, as Gaara walks out and begins to fight against this female? Sasuke would obviously be much stronger due to having he and Orochimaru mixed within himself, so he would actually be enough to defeat Gaara. But the actual interesting part is going to come up now. So Sasuke, this female version, would actually start fighting Naruto, and they'd actually be talking most of the time throughout the beginning of the fight, and Sasuke would be explaining to Naruto, he's like, I've loved you for so long, I've become a girl, you have to fuck me now. And Naruto's like, wait, what? You're actually Sasuke? And Sasuke's like, yes, I am indeed Sasuke. Do you like what you see? Naruto eyes Sasuke up and down. He's like, I can't lie. You're pretty fucking hot. Like, I won't lie about that. Like, I mean, like, you used to be a guy, but I mean, hey, does it work? Sasuke looks down, knowing exactly what Naruto is referring to, smiling as he says, yeah, or as she says, yes, it does. Naruto's like, okay, I guess I won't argue with that then. Sasuke ends up actually basically submitting to Naruto, I guess you could say, and they end up leaving, with Naruto actually being declared the victor of the Chunin exams, with Naruto and Sasuke going off into a room in a probably just a hotel, or they go to Naruto's house. They end up leaving to, fuck.
So after all that whole incident, basically it just leads to a bunch of fucking shit going down. It's gonna skip to basically the Pain archetype era. Fucking Pain ends up coming after Naruto. He's like, oh shit, I gotta fucking find Naruto, gotta catch it all. Because, after that whole, few years of Naruto just fucking getting OP training, he's, fucking jacked. Even though he can't fight, doesn't mean he can't get really fit. And actually, it helps seducing the ladies a lot more. So he was just fucking hyped and shit. Gaara whole incident, that wouldn't really go down, because Gaara was so fucking infatuated with Naruto, he just chilled in the fucking village with Naruto. He's like, oh shit, I'm into this faggot, so let's do it. He stayed there. The whole fucking debacle came down. There was a whole different fucking Kazekage at that time. So they ended up sending Pain towards this one, since he's the most powerful fucking Akatsuki member that they know of. And he ends up going there. So he ends up going towards them. He's like, oh shit, I'm here to fucking get you. As he points towards Naruto. Naruto's like chilling there with a bunch of ladies on his arm. He's like, bitch, do you know who the fuck I am? He's like, oh shit, I think I do. I'm here to get you. Your name's Naruto Uzumaki, correct? He's like, oh shit, you do know who I am. Yeah, so what do you need? He's like, I'm here to get you and bring you along with us. We're taking you as a group. And he's like, oh fuck, that's gay, bro. I don't like gangbangs, especially with guys. Like, that's pretty fucking gay. He's like, hey, bro, you're misunderstanding, dude. Like, Naruto's like, oh, so you want to square up? Alright, bet. They end up going into a clear field because, he basically just ended up commanding fucking Pain. He's like, alright, bet, motherfucker, I'll beat you over there. If I end up losing, just take me along with you. And Pain's like, sounds good to me. Ends up going against him. He ends up seducing the past. One comes up, he's like, oh, pow, bitch. He ended up using that fucking genjutsu shit. It was like, bam, clouded all their vision so they couldn't see. He popped up and butt attacked one of them. Fucking his butt went straight into his ass cheeks went straight into their fucking face, and that just seduced one of them. They dropped dead right there because apparently that's how it works. Ran over, touched another one of their fucking ball sack, and boom, dropped to the dead. And he grabbed another by its throat, and then basically went and gave it a hickey and dropped to the floor. He ended up doing this with just carrying on with every single path of Pain until they were just useless. And suddenly, it seems that the actual main Pain body was seduced because it has a crimson glow that begins to emanate from his eyes as Conan looks onward.
So with Naruto knowing the location and everything like that of all the different bitches that he's ended up seducing, or males I guess for that matter, he knows exactly where Nagato is, so he starts heading over in that direction, just kind of chilling as he goes over there, and eventually he'd show up at that log. At this point, he breaks through, and Conan would be looking at Nagato. She's like, Nagato, why don't you do something? You've just been in that daze for the past 2 minutes. Obviously, she'd be pretty worried because maybe Nagato just died. She doesn't know what's happening. Nagato slowly looks down as his purple Rinnegan eyes actually meet with Naruto's. Then he starts giving his speech. Naruto, I love you so much. I will fight with you until I die. I will. He starts crying at this point, and Naruto's like, okay. I was kind of expecting something of that sort, but not necessarily to that extent, not to that caliber. But he gives Nagato the order, go back to the Leaf Village and explain what you're doing here, and most of the people there will understand, because Naruto has seduced basically everybody in the village, so they'd understand exactly what's going on, and they've never seen Nagato, so they might just think he's some random person, showing up there. Nagato would be like, okay, Naruto, I'll listen to you, and he ends up leaving. This is where Conan would walk up. She'd be like, I can't just let you take Nagato away from me. Naruto's just like, bitch, please, as he slaps Why can't I remember her name all of a sudden? I don't know. And he basically slaps her ass, and she's just like, whew. It isn't enough, though, because of her level of power. Naruto leans in for a kiss, actually kissing her, grabbing her ass at the same time. This would be enough, and it obviously, she'd be like, oh, I all of a sudden love Naruto now. Naruto would stay under that tree for another few hours or so, and everybody would be wondering exactly what Naruto's doing before he and Konan, actually, that's what her name is, would end up walking out, and they're like, don't worry about us. And everybody's like, we know exactly what you were doing, Naruto. We heard the moans. We heard everything. Naruto's like, oh, I guess that makes sense. I am pretty good at what I do. So that would end up happening. And obviously, Nagato would be completely infatuated with Naruto. He'd be like, okay, yeah, Naruto, I will never betray you. I will never do this. I will never do anything against you in any way, shape, or form. Naruto would obviously be like, okay, that sounds dope, because he'd obviously take his word for it because he seduced the man, so he couldn't really do anything to go against him anyway. So, that happening, the next part that we're actually going to really just get to would be the actual arc of the war, because that would generally be what would happen next, at least for any actual sort of thing, big event that's actually going to be happening. So, Five Kage Summit would happen, and Obito would actually alone show up, and he'd be like, okay, the fourth Great Shinobi World War is going to begin now, and obviously that would happen. Orochimaru would not actually, Orochimaru doesn't really exist, I guess you could say. Kabuto wouldn't actually have absorbed any of Orochimaru's DNA or any of that kind of shit. So the war isn't actually going to be all too long. Naruto goes up, and he's just like, get fucked, fucking Obito, and he's just like, no, Kamui over, he's just like, Nagato, give me your fucking eyes. Taking his eyes, he basically reincarnates Madara, and at this point, Naruto's like, okay, bitch, please. He basically puts Obito in his weird, like, pink smoke genjutsu as he falls to the ground, completely thinking about seduction thoughts, as Naruto walks over, giving him a nice kiss and a grab of the ass, just trying to get him out of the way at this point, not in any gateway, I guess you could say. Naruto would begin walking over to Madara at this point, and he'd be pretty easily able to dodge all of Madara's attacks because of Naruto's massive power. But obviously Naruto would not be able to hit him in any way, shape, or form. He would not really be able to do anything of that sort at this point. He just can't because of his conditions and everything of that sort. So they'd be basically trading hits back and forth until eventually Naruto manages to get a hit off. He slaps Madara in the ass. At this, Madara is looking at Naruto now, and he's all of a sudden sees Naruto in a new light. His eyes soften up a little bit, and Naruto's wondering exactly what is happening. His power shouldn't work on somebody so strong with just a mere slap to the ass. Madara looks at Naruto, and he's like, you remind me of my past lover, Hashirama. So Naruto's like, wait, whoa, what do you mean? And Madara at this would be completely and utterly defeated. Naruto would complete the seduction process. So with that happening, Black Zetsu would run up and he'd be like, oh, hell nah. And he'd be like, Kaguya, get your fucking bitch ass out here. And he's just like fucking yanks Madara, shanks him in the chest. And he's just like, Madara's looking and he's just like, goodbye, friend, as he falls over. And Kaguya would be like, she'd be about to come out. And with Kaguya about to come out, this weird screen of sorts would actually appear above Naruto's head. Something of a challenge, I guess you could say, for Naruto that he never actually saw before. He never knew his power would grant him something like this. As he looks at the screen, it just says a few words. Challenge. Make Kaguya come. Naruto would then look towards the being that was starting to appear. Challenge accepted, he'd say.
Alright, y'all faggots, thank you guys for watching my What If. Make sure to go check out What If Sensei's channel. Thank you again for being here, What If Sensei. Shit was pretty dope. Make sure to go check out my Discord if you already haven't. Link in the description below. If you don't check it out, you're a bunch of fags. I'll have to, punish you later, almost like Naruto did to other faggots, maybe. I don't know. That might be gay. I don't know if it is. If it is, fuck off.
Wait, that's not right.